Yes, I have. Traumatising, very traumatising. It's just, it was painful, and it does sort of like tap into your mental health.
Yes, I have. My experience, I was about 16 when I fell pregnant with my partner I was with at the time. I was about 6 weeks on when I found out I was pregnant, and I couldn't decide what to do. So I spoke to one-to-one a lot about it, to try and make the best decision. And they told me loads of different things about it. I ended up having an abortion when I was 12 weeks in, and it was the worst thing I've ever been through. It was so painful, but when I look back, I think it was the best decision.
I think that if somebody decides that they want an abortion, then that's fair enough. They've obviously weighed up the pros and cons in their own head and made a decision, and I think it's up to the person that's making that decision to act on it.
It's personal choice. I don't think anybody really has a right over to somebody else's body unless it's the two people that conceive that child, that they have a mature discussion and decide what they both want. But I don't think anybody else should weigh in on that decision if you are not part of that process.
Do you think the father should have a choice?
It's not his body though.
It's not his body.
But it is his baby.
That's like a whole other question, isn't it?
Because I think that sometimes the man doesn't get a choice and then chooses to be absent because of that, and then the child grows up with a father not being there because the father was not given a choice. Or, in other words, the father does really want a baby and he doesn't get that choice.
But would you keep a baby even if you didn't want it and your boyfriend did, or partner? Like if you really didn't want to keep a baby,
No.
but your partner was saying that he did.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think it impacts my life more than my partner's. I have to carry a baby for 9 months, and
then go through
and also giving birth as well. And
it's not really fair that the father doesn't get the choice, though, is it?
No. I was 16 years old. I remember being really scared at the time because you don't really get taught much on what to do in that situation when you're that age, like especially in schools. So I remember not quite knowing what to do, and I remember Googling a lot on my phone what situation to do. And then the first thing I did was the thought go to the doctors, and I went by myself. I remember it being really lonely, because obviously it's not something that you want to tell your friends. It's definitely something that you don't want to tell your parents. I didn't have that support at the time either, so I couldn't do that. I remember going to the doctors, and the nurse, she was really lovely. She talked me through it. I remember getting loads of leaflets and not knowing what to do with them and just kind of putting them in the bin. And then pushing it away, saying we could just forget about it, constantly changed my mind. And then she kind of reassured me that it was absolutely fine. And then when she told me that you just take the medication a couple of times, the pills, I was shocked because I thought it was going to be a way more painful procedure than that. I thought it'd be more like something like a surgery sort of thing. But no, and then it was, I remember going once, and then she sent me away home with a pill and taking that. And then I remember her saying insisting that I did tell my parents, but then they also gave me the option that I didn't have to, which I much preferred, and I didn't. And then I remember when it happened, it was just loads of stomach cramps, and a pain, and then afterwards it was like, I don't really know can't really describe the feeling. It's just emptiness, I guess. And then after a couple of weeks, I was fine. So yeah. I was already aware that women, we have to ask for them, and a lot of the times abortions aren't allowed in other countries. That makes me angry and upset, because like the same question as before, nobody else should choose whether you have a baby, and to deny a woman of that sometimes can make a woman find her own means of doing it herself, which
like
not only
unsafe abortions.
Yeah, and it not only hurts obviously hurts the baby, gets with the baby, it also hurts her as well, and that's sacrificing 2 lives.
It also brings a massive stigma on women who do want to have abortions. So community-wide, Ireland, they used to send them to convicts, didn't they? So a woman would have the whole life changed, whether or not she had the baby. And it would start open a whole different kind of waves of other problems.
I think the reason why that happened though is a lot of countries is mainly to do with religion, because traditions and religions, a lot of them think that like for example Christianity, they massively believe that is a completely, like, you should not take a life before it's born, sort of thing, and that affects like a lot of families as well. Pressure.
They also don't believe in contraception.
Yeah, a bit of a double-edged sword, that one.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think you should have to pay for that. It's like the same thing as like the NHS. It's a medical requirement. A lot of women don't are in a position where it's not their fault, the reason that they're very young, and then they're expected to pay for that service. Yeah. And a lot of them, the 16-year-olds, they don't have jobs.
And if someone can't afford an abortion, then they most certainly cannot afford a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very true.
What is your opinion on having abortions available to everyone around the world free of charge?
I'd like to hope that one day that will be available for everyone.
Yeah, like the tampons.
Yeah, like the tampons.
Like the tampons. Oh, this one probably is more important than the tampons, but no, I agree with that. Yeah, that'd be lovely if we could live in a world where that would happen.
Free of charge. I think it should be a thing, definitely. Just so that if a girl can't afford it, then she's not going to have to worry about it, and she wouldn't have to bring a baby up, especially if she wasn't prepared, wasn't stable, wasn't ready in herself or ready to be a mum. I think it should be. I think it definitely should be free of charge around the world.
I don't think it should be a privilege. I think it should be the norm.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I'm happy that we live in a culture that lets a woman have a right over the state of her own body.
And I wouldn't say I was privileged of that. Well, I am privileged for that, obviously, but that shouldn't be the way it is. I'd say I'm grateful that I live in a country like that.
Yes, I do. If it weren't for the fact that I had one when I did, a baby would probably be brought into the world that didn't have the right support at the minute. With me working full time, I wouldn't be able to support a baby at the minute, and it wouldn't be fair. And I feel very privileged that I got to make that choice, not just for me, but for that baby. Yes, it does annoy me. I think at the end of the day, if it's a woman's choice, that is how it should stay. If it's a woman's body, if she's not prepared, if she's not physically well enough to carry a baby, and it makes her worse, or if she's not mentally prepared or well enough to carry a baby and have a baby, it can mess with a lot of people. I know a few people who have had very bad times because they haven't been able to go and get an abortion. Like such as in Ireland. I know a couple of people, and it's very daunting to think, and it does gets quite scary to think about. I think it's not very right.
There's a lot of different countries are still against that as well. So I think it opens your eyes to how different your culture is to other cultures and how much in the minority you are.
Also, did you know that 111 countries abortions are prohibited when you've been raped? No. That's a massive number for that. That's quite upsetting, actually.
That's shocked me. I didn't actually realise that was a thing. That must be really scary, I think, for a lot of like people who have been raped, young, middle-aged or old. It's quite upsetting to see that that's actually a thing.